This 26 Sports and CCTV high school football presentation is brought to you by Cadillac Casting Incorporated.
Announce it, Harv. Just say, hey, are you already unplugged? All right, and we are back, and they are at midfield. If the cameras can get a view of this, they are ready to present the Wandering Misaki Sentinel Trophy to the McBain Ramblers, who just won and beat Lake City 20-13. So congratulations to McBain as they get to take the Sentinel Wandering Trophy home for a second year in a row. I give both teams credit for standing at half field. I think that's become a tradition for this trophy.
Yep.
Either team that wins or loses, they congratulate each other or show respect for each other. And, that shows true sportsmanship right there. Lake City, under first-year coach Kyle Smith, came up just short with 13 points. But I tell you what, they were threatening at the end, and they did what they needed to do to make it a game.
They did. When my dad coached, one of the best pieces of advice I think he ever gave me was, your job is to put your kids in a position to win. And I think Kyle did that tonight. And McBain showed its resiliency. They dug deep. They were in a tough spot there defensively.
And really, McBain, I want to call them the walking wounded because they had at least 4 players out. I think Emmett Bronkema, Chance Rodenbaugh, Hunter Ransom, Kyle Hamilton was out this game, and even a couple more. It almost looks like there's more people in street clothes than there are in suits on the side. So McBain has some healing that they need to do. I don't know if any of these players will be back.
I think Emmett's coming back next week for Ionia. And then some of the other, I think Kyle Hamilton will be back also.
One of the things that we're talking about is McBain needed this win plus one more win. There's 2 games left in the regular season. Go ahead and talk us through the scenario, what McBain needs to do to make the playoffs.
In my calculations, McBain is 1 win away from playoffs. If they, or as I used to like to say, they win this week against Ionia, they're going to have enough points to get in. And, one of the things that I loved so much about the game of football is that there's not, in my opinion, another sport that can prepare young men for the seasons of life. And no matter how the season goes with Kyle over there, talking to his guys, and Coach Maloney just finishing up talking to our guys here, there's so many life lessons that are learned through this game.
I second that comment because basketball can be hard and stuff, but when you are physically drained, you're tired, you're emotional, it's a hard game. You're sore, you're getting hit, you got bruises, there might be blood on you somewhere, and you still got to play. You can't just stop and, put your thumb in your mouth, cry to mom, and that type of thing. You have to keep going. Yeah. And like you said, the true testament of it is, okay, you're down in your own territory. You got to drive the ball 80 yards to score or keep the ball away from them. That's where boys become men.
And there's so many microcosms to life that gets played out here. Even the guys that are on the sideline that don't get out on the field, they give of themselves every single day in practice, and they don't get maybe what they deserve out on Friday nights, but they learn how to be men. They're going to learn how to be husbands and dads and give of themselves, and that's what I always have loved so much about the game of football.
So McBain starts out strong and then does not score in the second half. So it comes down to a touchdown pass from Logan Ealing to Garrett Verberkmos, and then Logan Ealing takes 2 more touchdowns in, but McBain's held scoreless in the second half. Again, quick starts, but not finishing games yet. So, and it was a very exciting game to watch, but in order to make the playoffs, get in the playoffs, make something happen, they really have to focus on that, not having that letdown in the second half.
And you really got to give Lake City props because they made their adjustments at halftime. They came out pumped up, and I really think they executed their game plan in the second half.
So McBain's going to go to 2-3 in the conference, 4-3 overall. Lake City's going to drop to 1-4 in the conference, and then we'll have to see how Manton did against Beale City. Before we close, I'd like to thank Rain Johnson-Hill on cameras, Tyler Brittenell on cameras, Nick Coy shadowed tonight, helping him out, Jacob Fulis on cameras, Kaylee Buck on our awesome replay tonight, and a special thank you to our director, Dakota Pike, for doing an awesome job in the truck. To wrap things up, we just finished up with McBain beating Lake City 20-13, claiming the wandering Misaki Sentinel Trophy that has been at both schools year after year. And it's pretty even record for McBain and Lake City over the last few years. It's kind of fun to have those rivalries. They're the only two schools in Misaki County that play football. Lake City has 2 stoplights. McBain doesn't have any. So it's a nice rivalry, one that these guys will talk about for years to come. And this is where memories are made on the football field. So anything else you want to add for
thanks
tonight?
for having me. And if you're listening at home or watching, it was a fun experience, a brand new experience that I enjoyed.
So thank you to Jack Klunder for taking time away from putting his kids to bed. And thank you to my wife, too, for letting me come out. And hopefully my kids, I can see them when I get home. But just want to thank all the sponsors of tonight's program. And thank you to My News 26 Sports for putting this on, and the CTC crew and the digital media productions. They did a great job. The camera angles were awesome. The replay was awesome. It's really a fun thing to have these high school kids have an opportunity to see themselves on TV. So for Lars Ferdine and Jack Klunder, we are signing off for My News 26 Sports. Have a great night.